at weddings, and of course our happiness can't be complete until the temple is rebuilt. So it's music that brings you to dancing, actually. Therefore some say slow music, classical music is okay. Most don't bother with that either. But this tape that's on at the moment, although it sounds very musical, actually has got no music at all. It's totally vocal. And therefore, in reality, this could be okay, although it actually makes a mockery of the whole thing, because obviously it sounds like music. But, you know, obviously again, conflicting opinions whether you can or you can't. It is written on the tape that it is permitted to be listened to during those times, and people do. But I listen to it now because it just sounds a nice tape. You mustn't do things which would impair our safety or our health. You've got to be kosher in everything you do. The word actually means correct. That's how my boss explains it. So you've got to do everything in the correct way. Absolutely everything. This is a medical screening questionnaire to write down, do I have any brains? Do I not have any brains? Are you at present suffering from skin trouble affecting hands, arms or face? No. Boils, dyes or septic fingers? No. Discharge from ear, gums or mouth? No. Do you suffer from recurrent skin or ear trouble? No. A recurrent gastroenteritis disorder?
It's a clean bill of health for him. Now what about the salmon?
Right, it's lunchtime.
The salmon's passed the kosher test with flying colours. Now he's going to have some for lunch.
Shall set it up nicely. Right, let's find a nice piece in here.
All the food we eat has a spiritual effect on us. So it affects a person's soul. So if a person eats food that has been made in a way that meets the stringent standards of kosher supervision, it has a positive spiritual effect on his soul. And God forbid if he eats things that have been made that violate strict kosher laws, then it can have a negative effect on his soul, God forbid. Ultimately, we understand that in the world to come, we're going to have to deal with this scorecard that we've developed over our life, and those things, the mistakes that we made, so we get some kind of punishment for them. However, if we punish ourselves, if we kind of fix up the mistake we made in this world, then we don't have that. We don't have to deal with it in the world to come. We can deal with it in this world, which is far better. We deal with it in this world. Trying to negotiate, decide whether or not we want to do 20% or 10%. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Bye. Yeah, just this is a delivery of cheese, and this fellow is delivering a processed egg product, which I'll point out when we go in, which saves me a lot of cracking. This is our pile here of pieces of dough. This is a piece of every dough that's been made in the past 36 hours or so. So I'm going to make a special blessing on the mitzvah, the commandment, to separate challah from the dough. And then I'm going to separate some from each of these pieces. Now that I've made the blessing on this, I've designated this as challah, right? So now it has a special level of holiness. It's considered to be holy, and I have to dispose of it in a respectful way. I can't just toss it in the trash. Again, if we had a temple, this dough would go for the priests. Yeah. Obviously, it would be done in a much more sophisticated manner if we had a temple, but fortunately we don't. So what we do is we double bag it, and then we put it in the trash. The fact that we've double bagged it makes it that's considered to be a respectful way of disposing of it. Well, we can't eat it. It has to be disposed of. We're not allowed to eat it because we're not in a state of spiritual purity. The way it works is every dough needs to have challah taken from it and given to the priests, right? Until that happens, the bread is not really proper to be eaten. Once I take that part of the dough out, and designate it as being holy, so now the rest of the bread is considered to be normal, not holy. What makes this kosher food spiritually beneficial for us is the ingredients, the fact that it's baked in an oven that has been lit by a Jew. The ovens can only be turned on here and brought up to temperature by a Jew, by the owner or by myself. That makes the bread a more spiritual product.
Rabbi Kay is in a good mood because he's completed his kosher tour of Scotland. Now he's got 300 miles to drive back to his family in Manchester. Two years ago, his family were hit by a tragedy, and on the long journey back, he talks about what happened to one of his daughters.
Well, she contracted leukemia, by 1 in so many thousand or million chance of catching it, and unfortunately, everything was going absolutely fantastic. She suddenly contracted a viral infection, which is untreatable, really, more than just taking some painkillers and that. And unfortunately, it caused her systems to fail, basically. She didn't stand a chance, She had lasted a few more days and she might have been okay, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.
How old was she?
11 years, 5 months.
Did you find your faith helps you through that?
Well, I would guess so. It's one of those things, A person, everyone comes down to this world to do for a purpose, and to do a purpose, and the main factual reason for coming to this world is actually for the next world. And you have a duty to do here, and some people finish their duty earlier than others. And if you look at it that way, and other people say, oh, well, you haven't got to say, well, if you look at it the other way, we had 11 years and 5 months. Rather than saying, oh, well, we haven't got to now look at the positive side. So, it is difficult, and it's not always so easy. There are times when it gets to you, and there are times, but you just have to plod on. You've got to always, think ahead. Sometimes you're the one that's chosen to go through something like this. Now you just have to bear with me a second, because on every journey we say a prayer in order for us to be able to return home safely. So I'm going to say that prayer now, and then I can come back to you.
What if you could go?
It's 5 a.m. A team from the Manchester Beth Din arrived at their hotel last night. Before they go to work,